Hello, my friends. I wanted to take a moment to welcome all of the new people here. You have no idea how much it means to me that each of you are coming along this journey with me. I started making videos when I lived in what was a dream home of mine in the country. It was such a beautiful home where we did lots of projects around the house and the land. Then, in October of last year, even though we loved where we were, we had an intuitive knowing that it was time to leap into the unknown. We were interested in van life, but we didn't know if we would really like the lifestyle, and we also wanted to challenge ourselves to travel as simple and minimalistically as we could. So we packed up our life, packed up our Volvo station wagon, and jumped into full-time travel, adventure, and car life. Oh yeah, and we're traveling with our 2 cats, Lily and Bodhi. We don't know what the future holds. This journey has become a pilgrimage of sorts, without much logic or linearity to it. And so for now, we're happily on this grand adventure, and it's completely changed our lives. We had now been in the Tetons about 2 weeks, which was much longer than we anticipated. But after our scary experience in Yellowstone last week, the kind of accident where we could have died, and then the heat wave that covered the country.
So the heat wave is hitting everywhere.
Basically.
We decided to stay in the Tetons a bit longer, which we honestly weren't upset about. But during this time, we did have to start making some decisions about what would come next. And that's where this story picks up.
Well, what we were gonna do today kind of got decided for us because we woke up this morning to Bubba throwing up his breakfast all over the bed. Okay, don't look if you don't want to be grossed out, but anyway. So yeah, it's all over everything, so much so that we can't just rinse out a few things. We're gonna have to go and do laundry today. So that's what we're doing. What? Yeah, laundry again. We just did laundry like 2 days ago.
Okay, Bubba. You have a little upset tummy. Yeah.
It's sort of interesting how unexpected things happen and end up working to facilitate flow in life sometimes. After this happened, it gave us an excuse to get everything organized, which we had needed to do for a few days. And when we went into town, it gave me a chance to use the Wi-Fi and get a lot of work done. So, in a way, everything just worked out. When we came back to camp, we just rested, and I started a book that I've been wanting to read. While I was reading, I kept hearing the sweetest little sound somewhere nearby. And that's when we discovered that there was the most precious little family of chipmunks living in a tree right next to camp. And I may or may not have daydreamed about befriending them. And later, as we took a little walk, as usual, I kept finding more and more wildflowers I hadn't seen in the area before.
Oh, I'm like just about to lose the light. Ugh. The pressure is on. It has been a very classic week of road life, which is like decision and then an unknown and a pivot and another decision and an unknown and a pivot and another decision. So we finally now have an idea of what's coming next. Our final destination is going to be Austin, Texas, which is where we're going to be doing a house sit for some dear friends of ours. So we kind of worked backwards. We decided we really want to try to see my mom and Hannah, and then we need to stop by our storage unit and check our mail on our way south. And so as we worked backwards, we realized that we actually kind of need like a week, and we gave ourselves a day or two in each place as we are gonna go south. But I have a lot of feelings about that because what it means is that our time here is wrapping up. Like the connection that I feel with this place and just how incredible the land is was such a gift in so many ways, and I feel really grateful to be here. And so we don't have much time left here, but we're gonna try to soak up as much as we can. Do you hear that? That's one of my favorite birds. I think I say that for every bird. It's a nighthawk. Oh, the mosquitoes are really bad. Nighthawks are really special to me. Where I grew up, I would hear them in the evening times every warm summer night. And they make that piercing sound, and then they're often, I think they're hunting bugs. And when they dive for a bug, they make the most incredible sound. It's like a they sound like a jet. It's really special when I hear them. Baba. It's so interesting how after even 10 months of doing this, it feels like we're still discovering ways, like the most efficient way to pack the car, or like a new, I don't know, like a new system that works.
Yeah.
Which is like, oh, why didn't we do that the whole time?
Yep. But at least now we know that that's what we need to do.
Exactly. That's what I love. It's always a learning experience and humbling.
Very, very humbling.
This is Lil's form of protest. Belly up. This is so funny. What do you think, Lil? She's unfazed.
Hey y'all, how did you get up here, buddy? What are you doing? Come on, buddy.
After we packed up the car and we were just about to get ready to leave, I just felt called to sit on the ground of our little spot and offer my gratitude to the elements and the land, the sky, the animals, the plants, the flowers, for holding us while we were there. And I like to think I heard a gentle and quiet acknowledgement in return.
Thank you.
This is Mr. Toad. This is a rock we found on a little walk. And I have fallen in love with him, so he is coming with us.
We had a few stops to make before we left, which included going back into the park to see and to say farewell to one of my favorite lakes one last time. I didn't have time for a full swim, but I dunked my head in and whispered a few prayers and my gratitude to its waters. And then we had to stop at the food store to get some food and also pick up something very special for a little surprise for Hannah.
Even igneous rocks can melt and become new igneous rocks.
Our first stop on our multiple stop journey south was at my friend Hannah's house, which in total was about an 8-hour drive from Jackson. And since we left so late in the day, that meant that we were going to break up the drive into 2 days. After driving for most of the day, we finally got to a spot where we could pull off and make dinner. The only thing is I think we waited just a little bit too long to eat. And honestly, the last thing we wanted to do was to have to pull out all of our cooking gear to make dinner. So first, we tried just using our jet boil to make noodles, and then this happened.
Oh man, this just ran out of fuel. Great. So we have to take out the...
Okay.
Sometimes road life, just like normal life, is like this. We're just taking care of the basic things like making food for yourself just feels like a lot. We tried to accommodate how we were feeling by looking up to see where the closest town was, and it was over an hour away. Plus, it was a smaller town, so everything was just about to close, so we probably wouldn't make it in time. So in the end, we ended up having to pull out everything, our bigger stove, and cook dinner.
Well, at least we got a nice view.
Not the best dinner we've ever had, but not the worst dinner we've ever had.
We threw that together really fast. Alright. I did it.
The next morning, it was a bit of a shock to wake up in this very dramatic landscape. It was only 8 a.m, but it was already swelteringly hot in the direct sun. So we packed up quickly, and even without coffee or breakfast, we started on the road again. It was so beautiful, and something just felt a bit wild about the place. Kind of like the ancient spirits of the land were awake and watching us. Not too soon after being on the road again, there was a little town that we drove through, and we found only one place that had coffee. When we walked in, it was completely full of people since it was Saturday, but I'm not kidding when I say that they all got quiet as soon as we walked through the door. Kind of like they weren't used to strangers or out-of-towners. It was honestly one of the oddest moments, kind of like out of a movie. They were completely slammed, and the lady at the front said it could be 20 to 30 minutes before they could even just make us coffee since they were so behind. So we just ended up leaving, which was probably for the best. This day was just a bit strange as we continued on. We came to a really beautiful valley known for its petroglyphs from the ancient peoples that lived here. We pulled off at one of the spots along the road that had a sign marking that there were petroglyphs nearby. I've been trying to find words to describe how I felt while we were here, and it's hard because it's complicated. While we do get to spend a lot of time in nature, on the road, we are also constantly exposed to the mass culture that exists across the country, where there's a huge disconnect and where nature, animals, and people are not really considered, not really valued, and are often harmed directly or indirectly in the name of profit. But I won't get into all of that right now. But when we stopped in this spot, all of that came rushing up. All of these feelings started to come up for me, not just about this experience, but of the many experiences we've had. Luckily, a little bit of comedic relief was about to happen, just when we needed it.
I've never seen this happen to anyone. Every single time you have it,
Every time I eat carrots, I get the hiccups.
without fail.
This is Carver coming back to get me. I used to tease my mom that when she got the hiccups, that she sounded like a dying goat. And now it happens to me. As soon as I drink water, they tend to go away.
But it's only carrots that this happens. It's not like other fruits or vegetables. It's only carrots. And it's always carrots.
Maybe because they're so fibrous?
Does this happen to you when you eat celery?
I don't think so.
I laugh every single time.
August has how many days? We need that.
I smell a fly! Oh no! It just flew right in my mouth! Oh, that was horrible.
I can't even say a sentence.
Trying to have a moment, flies!
That works. Oh no, I'm talking to you.
Oh, sorry.